USA Tzu Chi volunteers provided relief supplies to those affected by the Oregon wildfire. Tzu Chi's Recycling Education Station in Kuala Lumpur welcomed ambassadors to introduce environmental protection actions. Welcome to Dot Headlines. I'm Joyce Howell. Thank you for joining us. The western United States wildfires this year did not only involve California, but also caused disasters in Oregon. Tzu Chi volunteers held a second distribution early November to provide relief aids for those in need.
When a forest fire broke out, it turned many people's sweet homes into ashes.
My mother passed away after the evacuation. It was too hard on her body. And my daughter's farm burned down. My brother's house burnt down. My sister's storage unit burned down.
Many affected residents have lost hope, so the volunteers have gone to Medford Central High School in Oregon for the second time to hold an aid distribution.
You guys surprised me with the gifts, the beautiful blanket. Thank you guys so much and get this filled, and then I can help out for you helping me, and I'm gonna get something special to put on my mom's grave, and it's gonna go for beautiful things. It's changed my life already. Now I want to go vegetarian all the way.
After the distribution is completed, city volunteers visited a family of 5 who stay in a trailer.
It is very cold inside a trailer at night. The vehicle consists of a metal board and cannot keep warm at night. So we need to give him a heater, many canned food, and blankets.
As the place has burned down, one needs to look at the parking signs to tell that this was once a fire station. In another part of Oregon, the Holiday Farm fire has burned an area of 68,000 hectares.
3 days before we were really able to stop fighting fire.
So the volunteers head over to the only fire station left to distribute cash cards and supplies to 12 volunteer firefighters' families.
Just want you to know, you're never alone. You have fully support from global-wise.
These firefighting heroes have also been affected by the forest fires. So the volunteers hope their support can help them get through these tough times.
In the aftermath of Typhoon Goni and Typhoon Vamco in the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers are working strenuously to provide relief to those in need. A physically challenged boy, Renan Brioso, walked 3 hours to participate in Tzu Chi's cash relief program. Let's take a look.
Physically challenged boy Renan Brioso has received $20 from Tzu Chi for helping serve lunch. In fact, city volunteers have accepted him into the work for relief program for a special reason.
He has walked here from another borough. The walk is about 3 hours, from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
The boy walked for 3 hours using a crutch. The 15-year-old boy is being strong because he cannot bear to see his mother suffering from asthma at home.
We asked him how he is going to use the $20 financial aid. He said that he will spend it on his mother's medical expenses.
Tzu Chi Eye Clinic's nurse has gone to Marikina to set up temporary medical station. Many residents were injured during the typhoon or cleanup. They were able to receive needed treatment.
After the flood water receded, I've only cleansed the wound once. Fortunately, Tzu Chi has set up medical station so that I can avoid wound infection.
My home in Manila has also been impacted. I feel for the affected residents, so I came over to help out after cleaning up my home.
A family of 3 is helping with the distribution of hot food. The mother is an entrepreneur with her own NGO. In the aftermath of the typhoon, she donated $62,000 to Tzu Chi for disaster relief work.
So gusto ko itong araw maging aral sa kanila.
I hope to contribute with my children. Today's experience serves a precious lesson. In the future, they will take over my company. May they uphold Tzu Chi's spirit and continue to help people in need in forgotten corners.
Also, na laging silang tumutulong.
Tzu Chi is both helping not just the people here, but also the local area and making it and recovering it. It's just another model example of what is possible in terms of organizing a large operation.
In the aftermath of the typhoon, Tzu Chi has gathered the strength of thousands of people to help restore the place to its former state.
Typhoon Goni relief work in Albay, Philippines continues in action. On November 18th and 19th, Manila Tzu Chi volunteers worked alongside Albay local volunteers to hand out distribution vouchers. The mayor of Kamalig also awarded Tzu Chi with a certification of appreciation to show their recognition.
During the sweltering day, Mario is working on clearing the muddy debris Typhoon Goni left behind. Before the typhoon hit the area, Mario had been out of work for a while due to COVID-related issues. And thankfully now he has some income by participating in Tzu Chi's Work for Relief program.
If my husband doesn't work, then our entire family doesn't eat. My youngest is on breast milk but needs diapers. The money we receive from Tzu Chi for participating in the Work for Relief is really helpful towards our daily expenses.
Alberto's family is also in need of some financial assistance as there are 6 people in his family that needs to eat. And his eldest son has been blind since birth.
After Typhoon Goni swept through, our entire borough was covered in mud and rocks. Our house was no exception. All the roads were covered in muddy debris.
I'm happy my father joined the Work for Relief program, as he now has money for the family. I know my parents work hard at earning a living, so I help up around the house as much as I can.
This is Kamalig of Albay province, where Tzu Chi has enacted Work for Relief to help clean up after Typhoon Goni. After 3 days of the program, which over 2,000 people participated in, a certification of appreciation was given to Tzu Chi from the mayor.
Although the certificate of appreciation is just a thin piece of paper, it's representative of the thanks from our entire community. We are thankful to Tzu Chi for giving us the motivation to restore our home after the disaster. And though we have suffered, we are united with the spirit to keep moving forward.
With the encouragement of the mayor and the companionship of Tzu Chi, disaster victims of Goni have swept away their hopelessness. After receiving the financial assistance, the recipients don't forget to donate back a little to Tzu Chi, continuing the cycle of love.
Following a surge of COVID-19 cases in Sri Lanka, the government imposed a 12-day lockdown in Colombo. This not only brings inconvenience to daily routines, but also increases economic difficulties for those living in hardship. Tzu Chi volunteers obtained a movement permit so that distribution to the long-term care families can continue without fail.
The once busy street is now almost empty. In Colombo, there's another outbreak of cluster infection of the COVID-19 virus. The government has issued a lockdown restriction for 12 days. All schools have also been shut down. However, the monthly aid distribution for care recipients never stopped. For the city that has been forced to lock down, the continuous love and care by the volunteers are needed more than ever.
The Society of Rehabilitation and Crime Prevention Hong Kong has been in collaboration with Tzu Chi for many years. During the pandemic, Tzu Chi helped to provide unemployment subsidies and also donated an air purifier for their consultation room.
In the counseling room, there are full of cats' photos. They are Long Long and Chen Chen, who are the best animal therapists.
There are 2 cats inside to encourage our members. Through the animal-assisted therapy and personal conversations, members can interact with animals so as to increase their self-confidence and sense of security, making them feel more at ease.
The Society of Rehabilitation and Crime Prevention Hong Kong mainly assists people with mental disorders to return to society. After the epidemic, there are many unemployed people. The Cats Gardens offers great help to calm down their emotions. Tzu Chi volunteers send them an air purifier so as to make the environment more comfortable and also learn about the effectiveness of the Tzu Chi unemployment subsidy towards members.
Some of our members have just lost their jobs. Some even started working for half a year by being unemployed for 1 month or more. Our colleagues chatted with them to understand their needs and referred to Tzu Chi for the subsidy program.
Under the present unstable condition, a more stable power is needed to alleviate people's uneasy emotions.
In Malaysia, a group of ambassadors from different countries visited Tzu Chi's recycling education station in Kuala Lumpur. Senior recycling volunteer Francis Tan gave them a tour of the recycling station and introduced Tzu Chi's 4 major missions.
Volunteers explained to the visitors how people's habits are making an impact on the earth.
This is only average we use per month.
Ambassadors from 4 countries to Malaysia have visited Tzu Chi recycling station in Kuala Lumpur.
Visit today Tzu Chi recycling center in Kuala Lumpur with a few of my European Union colleagues, and the idea is to sensibilize them to the excellent work around recycling and what is around as well, respecting the environment, Mother Earth, to see what next, what can we do with Tzu Chi and together on recyclable waste.
You know, let's educate our staff, our friends, our family members. Don't waste all these resources.
Besides listening to the introduction, visitors can also do recycling and learn by doing.
When they come, they have to sort it themselves. Okay, cardboard, where do I put the cardboard? They will learn, they will know.
It's very good to see that you are taking care of it and you're trying to educate children. It's very important that you educate the children so they know how to do it from the beginning when they are small. So they will continue doing this when they are growing up, so for a better environment.
There's a space that allows the visitors to learn about Tzu Chi's early days.
30 housewives to keep 5 cents. That time we have all the followers, 30 of them. Every time 5 cents they put into this bamboo bank, and every month all of them collect and she start to do charity by helping others.
These ambassadors have learned about Tzu Chi's recycling mission after this visit, and it is hoped that they'll also help promote environmental protection.
Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter assembled volunteers for isolation gown production once again upon learning that the hospitals and prisons in Penang are facing shortages of medical supplies. Although the garment factories are open for business, the owners were still willing to lend their machines to help with fabric cutting.
Since September, Malaysia has experienced the 3rd wave of COVID cases. There has been 20 days where confirmed cases have exceeded over 1,000. As of November 16th, the total accumulated confirmed cases number at 48,520. Some states like Penang's and Sabah's hospitals and prisons have seen a rise in confirmed COVID cases and a shortage in medical supplies.
We got the information that the local public hospitals and prisons need PPEs. Since our stock is low, we need to activate our project again.
On October 29th, Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter resumed making PPEs for frontline workers and once again asked clothing factories to help with cutting the fabric.
With our experience from April of this year, we were able to move quicker. I remember last time we can make only about 900 PPEs a day, and in these couple of days, there's a dramatic change. The day before we completed about 2,000, and yesterday it was 3,000. We're using the right methods, and everyone's working well together.
Most states in Malaysia have since November 9th began to follow a conditional movement control order where economic activities and sectors can resume. Thus, the 2 clothing factories that Tzu Chi worked with in the past are back at work, but nonetheless, they are still willing to lend a hand.
The factory is working on uniforms right now, so are the other 2 factories. But they are still willing to lend us half of their workspace to cut our fabrics. It is truly moving.
We want to send our best wishes to the healthcare and essential workers. We hope they can feel safe at work and their family members may feel safe at home.
I wish everyone's lives can return to normal. That would be the best.
From cutting the fabrics to sewing the PPEs, Tzu Chi volunteers overcome challenges to complete this project, so that when worn, the PPEs are filled with the love and blessings of all those involved.
The makers of isolation gowns of Penang, Malaysia include Tzu Chi volunteers as well as community members. Zhang Meijun sells tofu and noodles at the market in the morning and finds time in the afternoon and night to sew.
From beginning November 9th, the 9 states of Malaysia have a new conditional movement control order, which is economically related activities can be conducted, and that means most people are back at work. However, this affects the number of people Tzu Chi volunteers can gather to help make PPEs for healthcare professionals.
Right now, many people are back at work, so we're unable to gather volunteers like last time, when it was during the movement control order. So people are doing their best to help. Some of the volunteers take home the fabric and sew during their breaks at home.
Many of the community volunteers are helping make PPEs after work. One of them is Tzu Chi. Tzu is a quilting student of the Tzu Chi extended learning classes and has often helped out with various sewing projects Tzu Chi have done in the past. Thus, she's not absent from the roster list this time either.
The teacher from quilting class asked us to help sew. I helped before doing the MCO, so now I'm just trying to do as much as I can.
Tzu and her husband sell tofu and raw noodles at the market in the morning. When she gets home, she has household chores to do. However, she still seizes all her spare moments to help assemble the PPEs.
I get up around 5 a.m., then I heat up the water or hand dry the laundry before heading to the market. I get done with the market around 1 p.m. in the afternoon and come back home to make a simple lunch, take a nap, and then start working on the sewing. I sew until my eyes get tired, and then I switch to doing some chores around the house. Afterwards, I come back in to continue making the PPEs. The latest I finish everything for the day is 11 p.m., and I can do about 10 PPEs a day. I estimate that I can complete 50 PPEs in 4 days.
Tzu Chi has set a goal to make a certain number of PPEs a day, as she hopes these items can be given to healthcare workers as quickly as possible.
I'm just sewing, it doesn't affect my routine. The healthcare workers have sacrificed so much more. Doctors can't go home. I want the pandemic to be over soon and everyone to be happy and healthy. That would be best.
Though she's busy, she does not forget to do her part to help the healthcare workers. Tzu and others like her in Malaysia all hope for the pandemic to end soon, so healthcare professionals may finally get a break.
Today we meet Wu Lianhua, a nanny that lives in Puli, Taiwan. Some 20 years ago, she was a kindergarten principal when an earthquake took her home and business. She had to rely on relief aids to survive. Now that her 3 children have grown up, she's committed to raising funds and materials for children in rural areas and orphanages, hoping to help them change their lives.
你要跟我讲什么秘密吗？小孩子他或许不会哭，可是他会不说话。他们需要的除了爱跟关怀之外，他们就是希望给他希望。抱紧紧，抱紧紧。院长好，阿公好。快来哦。
收衣服、洗澡、吃晚餐，洗内裤、袜子。
The dressing room is full of children's clothing. There are children and teenagers from 4 to 18 years old. This nursery is like a castle for children.
Most of the children here are orphans without both parents, and some of them have drug addict parents and are now in prison. And some children are also physically and sexually assaulted.
各位小朋友好，跟电话阿姨一样高。你要跟我讲什么秘密吗？
As their own families could not provide these children with love, Wu Lianhua felt distressed.
What they need is love. And he needs someone to play with as they just need companionship.
没有跟我 K5 表示我们完成了。
Kai Kai is 4 years old and Cheng Cheng is 6 years old. They do not choose to be placed in the orphanage. They have to adapt to society on their own at a young age. They also need to organize their personal belongings by themselves. Once they learn these actions, they will not forget. However, the loneliness in their heart will not disappear.
If he doesn't speak, it means that he doesn't want to talk about it. Don't talk about it anymore. Otherwise, you will dig up the scar in his wound again. He will suffer more.
窗户自己的被还有房间要整理。好，你要在这里表现很好。那你答应我的事情要做到哦，真的，你已经跟我盖印章喽。
Aunt Lianhua often came to accompany her. When she realized that she was in a bad mood, she would whisper. In the face of big problems, she would accompany her to the end and show care in a way that this could accept.
I hope that all Taiwan children are happy, because if you are happy, you have the will to continue living your life.
能量。
She understands how to take care of children because Wu Lianhua's usual job is that of a nanny. She also worked as a foster mother and took the lonely child to live in her home.
I will pay special attention to children because I was raised by a single parent when I was a child. And my father used to pick up recyclables for a living. Before, our family was disadvantaged and relied upon help from others.
Wu Lianhua used to be the head of a kindergarten and her home was destroyed by the 9/21 earthquake. That day, her career also fell to ashes.
Because I don't have a job, and I don't have any money from the job. After the earthquake, I needed family support from the government. When we went to collect supplies, I would see other people's eyes and how pitiful they felt we were. That made me think that I didn't want to experience this again, and I didn't want people to think that I was pitiful.
Later, she was determined to help others and joyfully give to those in need.
Yes, I didn't want to let them feel like I felt at the beginning. I just want them to be happy.
This wall of thank you notes and handwritten cards are from all the children she helped.
Although I'm not a rich person, I can do things like a rich person in helping children.
There's a little time for her to catch her breath as she sees the time to get in touch and collect money to help children.
In fact, most of our money depends on the generosity of outsiders.
She does not have foundation, but simply a public welfare platform that emphasizes human relations and integrity. All people who donate money and contribute do so because they know her.
I do this because she raises funds all by herself, because she really has contributed to the society. This can be very hard on her, so if we can help and give back, we can also benefit society.
Ordinary people can also do extraordinary things. Wu Lianhua has connected love from all walks of life in society, making them into a solid force and changing people's hearts with a warm embrace.
孩子的塑造性很大，你给孩子一个拥抱，一个温暖，或许你一句话会改变他一生。
In a collaboration between Tzu Chi and the new Taipei City Council, a senior cafe is established in Luzhou Jingsi Books and Cafe for those who simply need a breather or consult on senior long-term care. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.